expansion. And I haven't done any card reviews or previews. And I bet by now you probably have seen some of the big guys show us some cool stuff. But you know what? It's tradition. I'm gonna do it. And then tomorrow I'm gonna do a video on a pack opening. So let's get to it. So if by chance you haven't heard anything that's been going on and you come to my channel to learn something new, the new expansion releases tomorrow, which is August 10th at the date of this recording. There's going to be 135 new cards being added, and a cool twist that's coming with this expansion is that everyone dies. So each of the heroes has a Death Knight version of themselves. So instead of releasing a Death Knight class, we have 9 Death Knights, which count as the second legendary for each class, which is really cool. Your hero power will change when you change your hero. That is correct. Of course that's correct. A new mechanic is being added to the game called Lifesteal. So we've seen Lifesteal before on Wicker Flame, Burn Bristle, and Maiden of Pain, I think. I can show you right here. I'm going to try to not say if I can help it. There we go. Huh. Come on. Hearthstone's as tired as I am, so I don't wanna. I'd rather not respond. Ah, come on, you big lug. I think it was a GVG card. Mistress of Pain. Oh, it already says Lifesteal now. Okay, never mind. I didn't used to. There's going to be an adventure portion to this expansion, which is going to be really cool. So there's going to be a prologue. And I think if you beat the prologue, you're going to be given a free Death Knight hero. And because of the new updates, there is no way to have duplicate legendaries anymore, which is so cool. They have... I did it. No, they have a system in place where when you get a legendary, it searches your your collection to make sure that you're not going to be getting a duplicate, which is pretty neat. You get a card pack for completing each wing. There are 3 wings, followed by the final fight, the Lich King. Yep, I already said that. Other bosses will be Sindragosa, Lord Marrogar, Professor Putricide. Defeating the Lich King with every class gives you the Paladin hero Arthas. Nice. Alright, so let's get on to some of the new cards. Starting with the legendary for Druid, Hadronox. 9 mana, 3/7. Death Rattle, summon your taunt minions that died this game. I think this is a really neat card. There are plenty of very well-statted taunts already in Druid. Being able to resum them is building a wall that your opponent will have to use board clear, a lot of spells, or waste all their current board from your one card. So there's a lot of new taunts as well that are pretty nuts. The only thing that sucks about Hadronox is its 9 cost. The 3/7 stat line is pretty decent on any minion. And it has the beast tag, so there's all that beast energy that already exists in Druid. If we search by beast. So we're not losing Mark of Yeshuraj or any of these other things, which is really neat. Menagerie Warden. You could definitely get the copy on it. There actually isn't too much synergy with beast. I thought there would be more. You can give a friendly beast +2/+2 with Vermin Sensei. Could be a thing. Now, the Death Knight. Malfurion the Pestilent. Choose one effect. Summon 2 poisonous spiders, which will be 1/2s, or 2 scarabs with taunt, which will be 1/5s. This also goes with Fandral Staghelm. So, if you have Fandral on the board, and you play Malfurion, you will get 2 spiders and 2 taunts. So it doesn't combine them, so you don't just get like 2 1/5s with poisonous and taunt. And your hero power becomes Plague Lord. Choose one. +3 attack this turn, or gain 3 armor. Way better than Justicar True Hearts, gain 2 and 2. Except for you do have to choose one over the other, which kind of sucks. But if you do have Fandral, they do combine. So, moving on to Ultimate Infestation, a 10 mana card. We haven't seen a 10 mana spell for a long time, I think. Don't quote me. Deal 5 damage, draw 5 cards, gain 5 armor, and summon a 5/5 ghoul. I think that's pretty neat. I don't know how popular it'll be. Definitely a good arena card. Gaining 5 cards is nuts in arena, because very rare do you go to top deck or fatigue. Dealing 5 damage doesn't seem like it does enough, but if you guys have been trading back and forth all game, this only helps you because it does establish a little bit of a board presence, it does heal you a little bit, it does deal damage to something, enough to kill something decent. 5 damage is nothing to scoff at. And drawing 5 cards, we already know that if we go to Rogue, 7 mana, Sprint, 7 mana draws 4 cards on its own, right? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Fate Spinner, 5 mana, 5/3. Choose a Death Rattle. So that's new, and it's secret. So there's no specific animation to this. When you choose a Death Rattle, it just puts a little skull and crossbones here. I don't know if it clarifies it as a Death Rattle minion to come back with Hadronox. Or not Hadronox, if it, like, N'Zoth. Deal 3 damage to all minions, or give all minions +2/+2. I don't know. I don't know if this will see a lot of play, to be honest. You'd be playing this when you're behind or ahead. And your opponent will know what you choose, usually. The only way this would be good is if you somehow surprise your opponent and make a really interesting play out of it. But that's all I got. 5 mana Spreading Plague. Summon a 1/5 Scarab with Taunt. If your opponent has more minions, cast this again. If you compare this to... let's go with Hunters. 3 drops. If you compare this with Unleash the Hounds, for each enemy minion you summon a 1/1 Hound with Charge. That's pretty decent. But say your opponent has 4 minions and you have 2. If you play Spreading Plague, you're spending 5 mana on a 1/5 taunt. Same scenario, if you have 4 and you trade some in, and he has 3 and you have 0, and you play Spreading Plague, you spent 5 mana to summon 2 1/5 Scarabs with Taunt. At the 5 mana game, like if you're on turn 5, you would hope, unless it's a Zoo Swarm deck that's not a Druid, that you're doing pretty good to play this. So I don't think it's going to see a lot of play in Constructed. Arena, I think it'll be okay, but it would have to be synergized with something like the Strong Shell Scavenger, a 4 mana 2/3. Battlecry, give your taunt minions +2/+2. So that is a straight up bolster. I don't think bolster is not in standard anymore. Bolster came from Grand Tournament. Yeah, give your taunt minions +2/+2, and it was just a spell. This is going to go well. If you play a Hadronox and Hadronox dies, and you've only had 6, we'll say you have 2 Ironbark Protectors, 2 Druids of the Claw, the Lich King, and 1 other. And then they all come back, and you've got space for 1 more, and you drop your Strong Shell Scavenger giving... Or if you played Spreading Plague, and you had all these Scarabs with Taunt. You have all these 1/5s. You have 5 1/5s. You play this guy. Now you've got 5 3/7s, which are much better. So, yeah, I think it's okay. They did what I love to do. When you put a card plus another card and you mash them into one card, they're pretty blatant about it. It's a 2 mana 2/3 vanilla minion with bolster. That's exactly what they did. They just mashed those together and gave it to Druid. I think it's okay. I think it's good. I don't know where we'll see play, but I think it's good. Good enough. 2 mana 1/2 Druid of the Swarm. So we get a Druid pretty much every expansion. And this does combo with Fandral. So if you have Fandral and you play this, you will get a 1/5 Taunt Poisonous. But without Fandral, you get to choose between a Spider and a Scarab. So the 1/2s Poisonouses are Spiders, and the 1/5s with Taunt are Scarabs. I think it's good. It's got a lot to choose from, and Druid of the Swarm does go well with the Strong Shell Scavenger, and can come out of Hadronox later, so I think it's good. 5 mana Web Weave. Summon 2 1/2 Poisonous Spiders. That's pretty good, and I feel a lot of these things are good, but Priest has one card that upsets the whole Shibuzi. Where are you? Potion of Madness. Potion Madness is still in the game. It's going to do a lot of damage to a lot of these new classes, and a lot of these minions have 2 or less health. A lot of them. So, I don't know. You play a late Druid of the Swarm behind a taunt. Like, say you have the Lich King, which you'll see later, and you have Druid of the Swarm, and you turn him into into a spider. That spider is meant to take out your Ysera. But as a priest, you Potion of Madness the 1/2 spider, and kill the Lich King with his own card for 1 mana. It's going to happen a lot, but who knows? It's a good card. It's 5 mana for 2 naturalizes, basically, without the downside of giving your opponent minions. So, and they're beasts. If you buff them, then if a poisonous can kill one thing and survive, it's done more than anyone asked for. So, moving on. Crypt Lord, 3 mana 1/6 taunt. After you summon a minion, gain +1 health. This combos very well with Strong Shell Scavenger. So imagine a play where turn 1 you do the Druid of the Swarm taunt, turn 2 Druid of the Swarm taunt, turn 3 Crypt Lord, turn 4 Strong Shell Scavenger. If the first 2 survive damage, they are now 3/7s, and you have a 3/7 here, because after you summon the Strong Shell Scavenger, it'll gain, or it'll be a 3/9. This would be a 3/9. That's pretty good. Crazy. Beyond being buffed by this guy, it's just okay. You would probably want something with more attack, or some way to buff its attack. Giving it +2/+2 with Mark... Oh, it's not a beast. I don't know. Mark of the Wild, I guess. It's kind of a waste. I don't know. It's alright. Good arena card. 3 mana Nash. Give your hero +3 attack. This turn, gain 3 armor. So that is basically Claw or Bite. It's the 3 mana version. I think other people were joking we'll get this card for every mana, and I think that'd be hilarious. Alright. That's it for Druid. All in all, I like these 2. This is cool. I like this guy. This guy. Could be good. Could be good. Eh. Moving on to Hunter. Now, we didn't get to see this in the reveal stream, the Deathstalker Rexar, and I was crossing my fingers that Kibler would be able to be playing as the Hunter, but he wasn't. He was playing against the Hunter, and he crushed the Hunter. Hopefully that's not what's going to always happen to Hunter. 6 mana, Deathstalker Rexar. Battlecry is basically Consecrate. It is Consecrate. And 5 armor. But his hero power... Come on. Hero power is craft a custom Zombeast. So you might be asking yourself, what is a Zombeast? You'll discover a beast with card text and then discover another beast, which is either vanilla or only has keywords, and will stitch them together. You'll combine the mana cost, health, attack, and the card text together into one card. All minions available are 5 mana and below for each choice. There's no preference between hunter and neutral beasts, so it's not like Discover where the classes are weighted. They actually had a Zombeast, it's not available through this place, but there was a Zombeast creator, which was cool. So, it's nuts, like, get off the 4 mana. If we type in Beast, and we go to Hunter, so, we'll talk about some simple things. So the first beast can be any beast that's 5 mana or less. So you could get Alley Cat, Battlecry, summon a 1/1, and say you stitch together the Raptor Hatchling. Is that exactly how it works? I don't remember. Let's quickly double check. I know I just read it. Beast with card text. Keywords. So the second one only has keywords. Alright. Did I just close Hearthstone? No! Best reviewer. Okay. Yeah. Beast. Okay, we're back. Alright, Alley Cat. So you get Alley Cat, and your second choice is... I don't know if Death Rattle counts as a keyword. Here, let's choose something more interesting. Okay, say you get Dispatch Kodo. So 4 mana, 2/4. You mix it with 4 mana, 2/4. Mixed with like the Stubborn Gastropod. So that would be a 6 mana, 3/6, Taunt Poisonous, deal damage equal to this minion's attack, so deal 3. Right? So 4 mana, 3/6, deal 3, Taunt Poison. That's pretty crazy. And like, there'll be so many different things wrapped into one. I've never seen this before. That's cool. Anyway. Yeah. There's a lot of crazy stuff. I'll try to find the simulator maybe at the end. But, yeah. Actually, no, I won't, because I want to craft this guy at some point and play him. So you'll probably just see that soon. I think it's cool. I don't think the ability is strong enough, but I think this hero power is badass. It's super cool. I just don't know what tools Hunter is going to use to stay alive to this point, because they're not really designed for super control, but who knows. Professor Putricide. 4 mana, 5/4. After you play a secret, put a random hunter secret into the battlefield. I think that's a really good effect. I wish the stats were swapped, because this reminds me of Princess Hurohan, or whatever her name is. She's 4. Is she a 5 or a 4? She's a 5 mana 6/5, which I also wish the stats were swapped on that one. I think that's going to be really good. We do have one new Hunter Secret, and I like the new Hunter Secret. I think this will be quite interesting, but as a lot of people say, you have to play your Cloaked Huntress on 3 and wait, letting it have the potential to die to get at least 2 free secrets on turn 4. Otherwise, you're playing Putricide on 4 onto an empty board, or you're playing Putricide on turn 6 or 8, or 7 or 5 if you got the coin for extra secrets. But the problem other people have said, and I agree with, is that the Hunter secrets just aren't impactful enough. They can be impactful enough. I don't know, I just don't think he's going to get the value he deserves. I wish he had higher health stats so he could stick around longer. Like, even if he was like a 2/7 or 3/6, I don't know. I think it's good. I'll just end with that. Now, Abominable Bowman, 7 mana 6/7. So it's about 1/1 less than a vanilla stat. Death Rattle, summon a random friendly beast that died this game. When I first saw this card, I actually got excited. A lot of people don't like this card and thinks it's just trash, and who knows, it might be. But I think that it has the potential to create a deck, a different style of deck. Like, can you imagine your only beasts being Savannah Highmane, King Crush, Swamp King Dread? Your 2 big dinos and your 2 lions. So every single time this dies or is triggered by some death rattle effects, so such as the Terror Scale Stalker, trigger a friendly minion's death rattle, or Princess Hurahan, as we saw earlier, and there's a new card coming in to the set. I think it could be nuts. It does create a different kind of game that doesn't really play with Deathstalker Rexar. It could play with Professor Putricide, because you're only playing like 4 or 5 beasts, like really good beasts, right? So I think it's bad elsewhere. Its stats are okay. This will be good for Arena for sure. Like, being able to summon something else is just good. It'd have to be put up against some pretty bad epics, though. Who knows? Moving on to Toxic Arrow. Deal 2 damage to a minion. If it survives, give it Poisonous. I think that this is pretty good. Dealing 2 damage to a minion is meh. If it survives, give it Poisonous. So that's the second part is for yourself, right? Oh shoot. I just realized I hit the wrong button. That's me, always hitting the wrong button. I thought I was recording. I'm streaming. So I'm going to bring up Twitch. Hi, Twitch. Now I have a chat. Okay. Alright. Continuing on. I'm going to have to rip this from Twitch later then. Corpse Widow. Your Death Rattle cards cost 2 less. 5 mana 4/6 is a great stat line. And it's a beast itself. So if you did want to play with some Death Rattle synergy, Corpse Widow would come back with a Abominable Bowman. I think it's a good card. It also enables another deck type besides... Well, actually, this one actually goes with Deathstalker Rexar. And it can be chosen with the Zombeast. So you could choose Corpse Widow, 5 mana, 4/6 Beast, and then your second choice be, I don't know. Your second choice could be, let's give a Beast, Charge. Okay, say we have a 6 mana, 5/7. Your Death Rattle cards cost 2 less. Charge. That's nuts. Stone Tusk Spore is going to be an interesting choice for that Zombeast. Every time. Every time. And Snow Flipper Penguin. Because you'll see it eventually. Snow Flipper Penguin is a 0 mana 1/1 beast. That just means that no matter what you Zombeast with the Snow Flipper Penguin, it's that card plus 1/1. So you did pay 2 mana to create it, which might not be worth it every time, but you are making a stronger statted minion every time you do mix that penguin in. So I think Corpse Widow's good. It enables a new deck, not a new deck type, but it helps the Death Rattle Hunter, which has seen play before with other cards. I like it. Give you a thumbs up. Exploding Bloat Bat, 4 mana 2/1 beast. Death Rattle, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. It is Consecrate for Hunter with a body. So they do have a lot of triggered the Death Rattle, which I showed you earlier, which is how this card is expected to be played. Beyond that, it's okay. The Death Rattle means that your opponent does have a little bit of control on the turn it's played, because if you don't manipulate their board at all with this, it's their call to how and when to trigger it, or it can be silenced and whatnot. I think it's good though. It is a beast. It can be Zombeasted into something else. So you could mix, I don't know if you could mix these two together, but can you imagine? Like, would this, your Death Rattle cards cost 2 less, and then it be a Death Rattle? So instead of a 9 mana, 6, 7, that plus that, would it discount itself? Probably not, because it has to be on the field for the discount. Whatever. If you have this out, and then you get Death Rattles, it's going to be crazy with the Zombeast. Moving on to Venom Strike Trap. The new secret. When one of your minions is attacked, summon a 2/3 Poisonous Cobra, which is Emperor Cobra, to be honest. Just show you. It's this card. They just didn't want to type in Emperor Cobra for whatever reason. So, yeah. It's good. It's a 2 mana version of a 3 mana card. That's all it is. So, getting this out of Putricide is going to be great, and then just playing it's going to be great. So, yep. Now this card, a lot of people laugh at. It's Bear Shark. So it's a stitched shark to a bear body, and then animated with the power of the Lich King. 3 mana 4/3. Meh. Can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. That's good against an empty board, or against like a 1/3 or something like that. But it also is good as a Zombeast choice, right? So, Exploding Bloat Bat, if you can mix it with the Bear Shark, would be a 7 mana, 6/4, Death Rattle, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions, can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. Can only be affected by effects or AoE. I think it's going to shine for the Zombeast factor. So, we will see, because there's not a lot of Hunter targeted buff spells. There are a few, and there's also Dinomancy, but you know, I think it's gonna be great. Gonna be good for that. Good arena card. Stitch Tracker, 3 mana 2/2. Discover a copy of a minion in your deck. This is very powerful. You don't want to play it against a. You don't want to play it against a board like a 2/3 that they played on their turn 2. Because that, like, yes, you'll be getting a card. Maybe, unless you're playing it for your next turn and you really need it, if you have all your late game in your hand. But most of the time, this is going to be a good card. You're going to be trying to fetch cards you can't have doubles of, or cards you want triples or quadruples of in your deck. You could also search for other Stitch trackers. It's a possibility. I don't know if this card is worth bouncing. That's devoting cards to bouncing specifically 1 or 2 cards. So I think this will be maybe a 1 of, 2 of in a deck. Definitely good in Arena. Very good in Arena. That's it. I think it's a pretty decent card. Going to be moving on to the 1 mana Play Dead. Trigger a friendly minion's Death Rattle. So this is the card I was talking about earlier, the new card to the set that does the Death Rattle synergy. I think it's really good. When you take an effect off something else, or you minimize an effect, so there was a card called Feign Death, which triggered all of your minions' Death Rattles for 2 mana. This isn't as powerful as that, but by being 1 mana, you can do more in a turn with it, even though you only target 1. So, I think it's a great card. I don't know how much play it'll see outside Death Rattle decks, and Arena, you'd have to have at least, I would say, 4 or 5 Death Rattles for this to be good in your deck. So, I wouldn't pick this before you picked a Death Rattle. Alright, that's it for Hunter. Moving on to Mage. Frostlich Jaina, 9 mana, and you always get the 5 armor with a Death Knight. Battlecry, summon a 3/6 water elemental, so that's your regular water elemental, and your elementals have lifesteal this entire game. That enables the elemental mage, which I made. Like, I have a few elemental mage decks, but they were never popular. So I have the Highlander elemental deck, which, if I remember, it had Inkmaster Solia, it had Kazakis, and it had how many actual elementals? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We only had 5. Maybe it wasn't. What about Pyros Exodia? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whatever. So I didn't actually really have an elemental. I just had decks with elementals in them. So we're gonna see if elemental Jaina's gonna be good. That ability alone on the water elementals is gonna be great, but her hero power is gonna change to deal 1 damage. If you kill an enemy minion, summon a water elemental with lifesteal. That's pretty good. People are comparing this to Jiraxis. It's not as good as Jiraxis, but I feel it's not as good versus Jiraxis. I think it's crazy on its own. This versus a normal hero, this'll win out most of the time. This versus Jiraxis, it will happen, but I don't know, because Jiraxis summons a 6/6. Now, I think, this is me, would it have been too overpowered if it was deal 1 damage, freeze your target as well? Maybe? I don't know. Plus all the other stuff? Could be. I don't know. 9 mana is very costly, so I don't know how that works. But I do, like I said, I think it's powerful. If you're smart, it's powerful. Syndragosa, so the dragon went to the mage. Syndragosa was going to go to somebody. Or it could have been neutral, I don't know. 8 mana, 8/8, normal dragon stats. Battlecry, summon 2 0/1 frozen champions. These frozen champions say, this Death Rattle, put a random legendary into your hand. You can get a lot of crazy shit. Just saying. A lot of crazy shit. Moving on to Glacial Mysteries. 8 mana. Put 1 of each secret from your deck into the battlefield. I don't think this is that good. It's definitely a powerful effect, but it's 8 mana, so you have to play it turn 7 plus. By turn 7 plus, you've drawn 7 cards from your deck. So your deck is like around 18 cards. You have to put quite a few secrets into your deck and multiple versions of them, or if you're gonna do the Highlander deck, like one of each, you'd have to put like at least 6 secrets in your deck. If you get this off and pull 5 out with 0 on the board, this is insane. 5 secrets cost 15 mana. So you're getting 7 mana discount. But if this pulls, so you have to pull 3 for this to be good. And I'd only run 1 Glacial Mysteries in my deck, to be honest. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying about that. Moving on to Simulacrum. Copy the lowest cost minion in your hand. I feel like this could have been costed 2 mana. And I get why it's not, because say you have Syndragosa in your hand. You've paid 3 mana to get another Syndragosa. I get it. I get its strength. I don't know. This is also a one of, I think. And I feel one of cards that you can't really get value out of too should be put onto a minion? Maybe a legendary minion? So you could have like a 3 mana 3/4 minion that copies lowest cost minion in your hand. You know? Unless this text does this text just, is this like a, oh shit, what's his name? Shifter Xeris. Is that like a Shifter Xeris card? Probably not. Probably overthinking it. I think it's alright. Has its uses, but it might be hard to pull off depending on how things play out. Ghastly Conjurer. 4 mana 2/6. Battlecry, add a mirror image spell to your hand. Think it's good. Mirror image is good. Goes with the quest. Think it's good. Stats are good. But as I said earlier, it's a 2 attack minion. Priests can manipulate it. Doesn't have taunt, so it's alright. I guess you get the taunts of your mirror images. It's alright. That's all I gotta say. Moving on. Doomed Apprentice. So this is the Sorcerer's Apprentice in a Death Knight form. 3 mana 3/2. Your opponent's spells cost 1 more. That's really shitty, but the body's easy to remove. So that's all I'm gonna say about that one. Ice Walker. 2 mana 1/3. Your hero power also freezes the target, and it's an elemental tagged. So there's what I asked for Jaina. You have to have this card on the field. Mages don't really have a way to buff cards, so I wish it was a spell that permanently added this effect to your hero, but what you gonna do? I like it, I just don't think it's gonna live very long. Cold Wraith. 3 mana 3/4. If an enemy is frozen, draw a card. Amazing. I don't know how you're going to freeze something on turn 2. I guess you have to use Glacial Shard, or I think there's a new card in the neutral set here that does the same thing. Oh no, it's not. It's a Shaman card, so never mind. So it's a little hard to pull off on curve. If you do though, this card's insane. 3 mana 3/4, great stats, and draw a card. That's all I gotta say. Frozen Clone. I love this. 3 mana, secret. After your opponent plays a minion, add 2 copies of it to your hand. So they can still fish this out the same way they fish out Mirror Entity. So I don't know what you're gonna do, but it's the same thing. It's good. I like it. It reminds me of Duplicate. Right? Duplicate was very similar to this. Duplicate Red. When one of your minions is killed, add 2 copies of it to your hand. So it's nice to have that kind of effect back, except for you're not in control. You're in less control than you were before. I like it. And it's a common. Common's good. 1 mana Breath of Syndragosa, deal 2 damage to a random enemy minion and freeze it. So this is the one that might come with Cold Wraith as well. You can play 2 1 costs on turn 2 and then turn 3 into the Cold Wraith. You don't have choice, so it's always the smart play to remove what you can, so this gets most value. And that's all I gotta say about that. Moving on to Paladin. So Paladin starts with Uther of the Ebon Blade. 9 mana, scary. Battlecry, equip a 5/3 lifesteal weapon. So that's a lot like Tyrion giving you a 5/3 weapon, except with lifesteal. So not only are you going to get 5 armor, when you smack something, you're also going to get 5 health. So in this turn alone, you get 10 health, which is great. And you kill something, usually. His ability is a little nutso, because you get a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! So his arrow power is summon 2/2 horsemen, which in itself is great, because Justicar got you 2/1/1s. I think a 2/2 is better, and you can do it every turn for 2 mana. Although, if you collect 4 unique horsemen, I think they have to be unique. I think they all have different names. If you collect all 4, you automatically win. That's crazy. People are definitely going to make decks where you automatically win. No lie. So I think you're going to be good. You're costed very high, but for good reason. If this was 8 and you hero power that turn, you're 3 hero powers away from winning. So, yep. Moving on to Bolvar Fireblood. 5 mana, 1/7. We've seen this stat before. Divine Shield, which is good. After a friendly minion loses Divine Shield, gain +2 attack. So this is going to re-enable the Divine Shield Paladin deck. It's been around many times before, and it comes back at the beginning of every expansion to see if it's worthy again. I think it will be. Bolvar, in himself, is going to be a 3/7. The minute you break his own Divine Shield, his effect will proc. You only need to have 1 or 2 others for it to get scary. So alone he's a 3/7. There's a new card that's a 1 mana 1/1 Divine Shield Taunt. So you have 2 of those on his left and right. You've immediately made this guy into a 5/7, and then when you hit him, he becomes a 7/7. So he only has the potential to get crazier. He might not be strong enough. Like, he might always just be a 3/7 without taunt. So he might not be good, but he has the potential to be good. So Bolvar, we'll be looking at you later. Blackguard. This card is really strong. 6 mana, 3/9. Whenever your hero is healed, deal that much damage to a random enemy hero. Minion. This can be crazy. If you have 2 Blackguards out, and say your health is at 20, and you forbidden heal yourself for 10, your 2 guys will deal 10 damage randomly to minions or heroes. Oh no, it is random enemy minion. So just the minions. So this can be crazy board clear. Also, if you have True Silver Champion, and you go to attack something with 2 health, and it's the only minion on the board, and you have Blackguard out, Blackguard should kill it before your weapon hits it. It's not using your durability, and you can attack again. I think that'd be crazy. So, stats are grand. 3/9 is amazing. That's all I gotta say. Light Sorrow. 4 mana, very highly costed. It's a play on Light's Justice, which is a 1 mana 1/4. So this is 4 mana 1/4 with the same text. After a friendly minion loses Divine Shield, gain +1 attack. I feel like this is too slow. You could have played this at 3 mana, but maybe by 4 mana. By 4 mana, you've already lost Divine Shield on 2 of your guys. So I don't know. I don't know if it'll see a lot of play. It is costed in the epic slot, so like if you're up against a Blackguard in Arena, you'd probably pick Blackguard. Probably. Moving on to Arrogant Crusader. 4 mana 5/2. Death Rattle. If it's your opponent's turn, summon a 2/2 ghoul. So it's a 4 mana 7/4. We've seen that before. If you make the trade, you don't get this Death Rattle, so whatever. Just go face. I think it's decent. It's going to be good in Arena. I don't know if anyone's going to use this on your opponent's turn as a whole deck type, but they could. I'll try it out, probably. So, that's all I got to say about this guy. Pretty good. Howling Commander. 3 mana 2/2. Battlecry, draw a Divine Shield minion from your deck. So this is kind of like the Stitch Tracker, but not as good, because this pulls it from your deck, which is also good, but I don't know. It could have done with maybe like 1 extra health, 2 extra health, or 3/3. But I get it. Yeah. It's okay. Moving on. Desperate Stand. Give a minion Death Rattle, return this to life with 1 health. That's like the one secret. Redemption? Is it redemption? Is it redemption? It is. When a friendly minion dies, return to life with 1 health. Except for you choose the minion it goes on and costs 2 mana. This does go towards the Paladin quest, the last Kaleidosaur. I think it's the only quest I don't have. So yeah. That's cool. I guess. Moving on. Chillblade Champion. 4 mana, 3/2, charge lifesteal. Now this is the card that I think is going to be interesting. One of the deck types I used to play was hand buff. This card plus hand buff is going to be insane. I've been needing another charge minion for my hand buff because I was putting in what's his face, the 4 mana 2/5 charger. What is his name? Storm? No, it's not Stormwind Champion. Where are you? Why can't I remember you? Did I go past it already? Stormwind Knight. I was kind of right. So, lifesteal is going to be insane if... Imagine this guy, he's got charge and lifesteal. You play him, and no matter what you do, if you hit face or you make a value trade when he's hand buffed, you're going to get at least 4, 5, 6 health back, and you've killed something. And if you have the Blackguard, he will kill something else for the amount you've lifestealed back. So you heal for 4, and you value traded, and the Blackguard does 4 damage to something else. Like, there's going to be some interesting stuff going on. So I like you, Chillblade Champion. I like you. 2 mana, Dark Conviction, set a minion's attack and health to 3. So this is the effect of Keeper of Alderman, which is a 4 mana 3/4. Just, this isn't spell form. So, I think it's good. Maybe you want to play it on a card such as Righteous Protector. So 1 mana Taunt, Divine Shield. You can make it a 3/3. This is the card I was talking about earlier. This is a strict power creep on Argent Squire. Argent Squire is a neutral 1/1/1 Divine Shield, and this adds Taunt, which makes it even scarier. Yep. That's right. Even scarier. Alright. Give me 2 seconds. Damn. It's been going on for a while. Holy shit. Okay. Sorry for the swearing. We will go for... wherever I end at about an hour is where I'll stop this first thing, and then... So maybe just Priest. Yeah, we'll be done after Priest. Priest is the one I want to talk about anyway. Shadow Reaper Anduin. 8 mana. Battlecry. Destroy all minions with 5 or more attack. So that is Shadow Word Death against every single thing they've got on the board. That's pretty crazy. But what makes him more crazy, and I will be doing this, if I don't get him, I am crafting him. I am sorry if people think he's terrible. Void Form. Deal 2 damage. After you play a card, refresh this. I am going to play Braza, the Chained, which makes the hero power cost 0, so no matter what I'm going to do on my turn anyway, I'm going to be dealing damage like crazy. Not to mention there's probably one-hit kill combos that I'll try to be pulling off with Void Form. I think he's great. I think it's good. I think it's really good. I don't know if the Battlecry is going to hit enough, because there's a lot of low attack, high health minions in the game now, especially with this set. So, but that effect though, you know I love Shadow Form, and Void Form is the next step. Okay, meme card, 7 mana 4/6 Archbishop Benedictus. Shuffle a copy of your opponent's deck into your deck. So this is only going to be good late game, if you ever run it, or you run it for the jokes, for the lulz. Late game, you're both down to like, I don't know, like 8 cards, and you take his last, or you don't take them, but you copy his 8 cards, you will win the fatigue, for sure, unless it's Jade. And hopefully you teched against Jade. There's a new card for Jade Tech. And other things, so... It should have been high. I think this card should have been higher statted. Because you're really just paying this for the effect. So... Whatever. Whatever. I do what I want. Moving on. 9 mana, Obsidian Statue. This card's really good. Taunt, Lifesteal, Death Rattle, destroy a random enemy minion. So, with 4/8, this should be doing some work. Uh-oh, I'm getting a phone call. Hello?
Hey, Mike.
Yes? Alright, so, where was I? We'll just start with Embrace Darkness. 6 mana, choose an enemy minion at the start of your turn, gain control of it. This is definitely a Control Priest card, and Control Priest card only, because you want to play Embrace Darkness against a high cost minion of your opponent's, and or like a really cool effect, and you want to have next to nothing on the board or very small taunts that will absorb the blow without losing their big guy, because you want to copy it. So like say you play this on the Lich King and you have like a 1/3 taunt or 1/4 taunt, we'll say. So he'll kill it for value, and if he can't kill his own guy, he is going to get very mad and try to have a defense against his own card, which is going to be coming to you. So in that sort of situation, Embrace Darkness is great. Embrace Darkness is not great when they have four really big minions, and you're just picking the one that you know will survive, and they smash your face for like 23 damage in one turn or something. So Embrace Darkness really sucks then, when Mind Control would have been better, because you could take a taunt. So it's okay. Shadow Essence, 6 mana, summon a 5/5 copy of a random minion in your deck. So this works with Death Rattle, end of turn effects. I think that's about it. Yeah. Yep. Yep. But this also works with Eternal Servitude, because you're summoning a copy of something. I don't know why on by turn 6 you haven't summoned anything, but 6, you summon a 5/5 Ysera, right? And it gets you a Dream card. They kill it, Eternal Servitude, summon Ysera. Pretty good. It will have other uses, but I think Death Rattle and end of turn effects is where it's at. There might be some lower cost stuff that stat-wise is not a 5/5 that will be worth it. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but yeah. Alright, moving on to Devour Mind. So this is Thought Steal on crack. 5 mana, copy 3 cards in your opponent's deck and add them to your hand. So it's kind of like Kabbalah's Tome-ish as well. Just that it's good. Like, it's pretty good. Don't burn cards in your hand. Don't overdraw. Warning. 4 mana, Eternal Servitude. Discover a friendly minion that died this game and summon it. This card can be nuts. Can be. There's gonna be like a lot of certain choices that are gonna be really good with Eternal Servitude, and it's gonna be really good on the big minions. And it's Discover, so you get to choose. I like that. So this is probably like put into a deck that maybe has like 12, 14 minions ish. Maybe less. I don't know. It's good. Acolyte of Agony. 3 mana, 3/3 lifesteal. That's pretty good. But a lot of people are comparing it to Earthen Ring Farseer, because Earthen Ring Farseer can heal other minions, but Acolyte of Agony can heal you repeatedly, in theory, but only your face. So, it's okay. I don't think it's terrible, but it's nothing special. And the last two cards that we're going to show here, Spirit Lash, 2 mana, lifesteal, deal 1 damage to all minions. So maximum healing you can get is 14 if you hit 7 of yours, 7 of theirs, which is crazy. 2 mana heal 14. But yeah, this really is only good with spell damage. That's all I'm going to say about that. Moving on to Shadow Ascendant. I wish this was a 2 mana 2/3. I understand why it's not. At the end of your turn, give another random friendly minion +1/+1. I love that effect, but on a 2 mana 2/2, it's just so weak. I need like my 1 mana 1/3 taunt. Where's my Shadow or my Void Walker? Oh right, it's a Warlock card. So, all right, that is the cards I'm going to do for this video. I did talk a really long time, so yeah. I don't know. I guess I'll be editing out that little bit. So, yeah.